Hey basses, today we're going to be working on Nightshift. So let's warm up with 3 scales, C, D, and G. There'll be 2 octave scales and our tempo is 112. Here's our C scale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do our G scale next. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do our D scale next. 1, 2, 3, 4. Today we are working on the piece Nightshift. Now there's a lot of different problem spots we have to tackle, but one of the main things that is consistent here is that there's a lot of eighth notes. So I want to get in the habit of playing our eighth notes consistently on the string and with control over the dynamics, being able to play eighth notes in piano, forte, and so on. So first thing that I want to do is just on an open D, we're going to play quarter notes. And we're going to play our quarter notes fairly short, like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. That same connection that we're feeling to the string as we play a quarter note is what we're going to want with an eighth note. It's a little shorter, but we're not coming off the string. We're staying connected. Let's practice our eighth notes on the G string at our tempo for the piece, 112. Just on an open G. In the piano dynamic, we're going to play eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Try to keep them short. Good, now let's play the first 4 bars, ending on the 2 notes with the accents. On measure 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice there was a huge dynamic increase in measure 3. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Having trouble getting that dynamic to sound louder, what you need to do is steadily move closer to the frog so that when you reach that E, G, F sharp, you're right there by the frog and you have a lot of bite. The other thing is that with bass, we always want to use a lot of our arm weight. So really dig into the string. Don't just move sideways. Dig down and towards your body. Another passage that requires us to practice a lot of consistency is measures 13 through 19. So take a look at that, and then I'll play it for you once before I explain some tips to execute it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You'll notice that when we play our eighth notes louder, they tend to get a little bit longer. But being a little bit longer will help them sound a little bit fuller and louder. So let's try that together at a slower tempo. I'll go down to 100. It's always nice to practice things at a slower tempo. The first challenge here is going from piano to forte in one measure, measure 13. So we need to go from soft to loud. Let's try just that, measures 13 and 14 with our metronome. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. One more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Once again, I'm trying to keep things short, but I'm starting in the middle of the bow when it's quiet, and then I move close to the frog for the forte. When we put it in context, from 14 to 20 is all forte dynamic. So let's try playing this together. First we'll play it at 100, and then we'll play it at 112. Here we are at 100, starting piano, going to forte. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You may notice a tendency to really only attack the down bows. It's very important that you also think about throwing your hand in that direction, just as forcefully as you pull down. So you can get that even tone in even loudness, as opposed to. You want to make sure we're attacking the up bows just as strong. Let's try that now at 112. Start off piano, then forte, and consistently loud by really digging into the up bow as well. 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Our next challenge spot is measure 21. We have a slur followed by 2/8 notes. Our slur is an up bow, and then we have down up. It looks like this. So F sharp G, F sharp E in measure 21. So notice the slur is long, it's connected. But the next 2/8 notes are short. What I want to do is just loop measure 21. We'll do it at BPM 100, a little bit slower. And we're just going to play that same bar over and over again. BPM 90. Nice and slow. Something that'll help is keeping the G short as well. The only long note in this passage should be the first F sharp. Get your fingers ready. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Now let's make sure our dynamic is forte. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Now let's try that at our tempo, 112. Same thing, we're just going to loop measure 21. 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2. 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Now let's connect that passage to the next one. Let's play measures 21 through 29 at tempo. This is 112 BPM. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Crescendo. Good, now let's look at measure 30. We have 16th notes. So what we need to do is just scrub these notes very, very quickly, like this. So we're close to the frog, we put pressure on, and then we move our hand back and forth to the rhythm. Join me. down, up, down, up, down. Let's do a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. Faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Now let's try playing 30 through 30. Actually, try playing 30 through 37. So we have B, A, G, and then we have some quarter notes. Make sure you're counting those rests. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. Long, 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 long. 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second measure. 2, 3, 4. And let's stop there. Let's stop there. So 39 is just the same exact thing. It's just 16th notes. The only difference is now you're playing them piano, and also you have one after another. You have 4 16th notes on F sharp, 4 on G, 4 on A, and 4 on G. It's just written this way because this is a little faster way for composers to write it, and it doesn't look so overwhelming. So at a slow tempo, it'll sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just using a little bit of bow, tiny amount of bow, a little farther away from the frog, and I'm playing piano with a little crescendo at the end. So let's try that at tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try that one again. This time we're gonna add the accent in measure 40. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Good. Last time. 1, 2. Same thing. 1, 2. 1, 2. Good. All right. Moving on. The next challenging spot we have to play is measure 57 into 58. We have 3 notes in piano and then 2 eighth notes on 58 in forte. Right? So it should sound something like this. Here's 57 to 58. 1, 2. One more time. 1, 2. So I start off quietly on the quarter note, and then I swell through the next 2 eighth notes, and then my B's on 58 are both very, very loud. Let's try that together a few times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Finally, our last challenge is playing bar 59, going from forte into fortissimo. So how do we make an even bigger sound for those last 2 accents of the piece? Let me just focus on those 2 accents. We're gonna need to be close to the frog, and we're gonna need to use a lot more bow if we wanna go from forte to fortissimo. I'm not just using a little, I'm using a whole lot. And still digging in, pushing my arm into the instrument, not just my forearm and my wrist. Yeah, let's do those last 3 measures together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3. Another trick to make it seem like we're getting even louder is to really play that 59, the last beat, as long as we can, like this. Really hold it out until we absolutely have to play the beat. Let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1.